Good day. Welcome to Derail Valley. We're at 99.7 now, and hopefully in the future that will unleash 1.0. I hope it's fairly early in the game, but I'm not too hopeful as of right now. So let's start on career mode. Go through and we will how do I change that? Rename the selected session. Create a new session. Okay, well, no tutorial. Oh, have to deselect the tutorial. Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. So, multi-servicing, remote, VR, everything here's good. We're not playing in VR. Order payouts, we'll go up to 125. Max copay 200,000. Order time bonus 150. We want all things that could be messed up. And brake lights, yes, all lights and brakes. Resource consumption 25%, resource cost 50, damage 100, repair cost 75, re-rail max cost 5k, clear cost. Everything looks fairly good here, and the reason I've got these is that way we can spend more time actually playing and less time having to refill all the time. And yeah, everything looks good. So I'm gonna hit done, save, and we will hop right into it. Okay, so we are at the steel mill. Here's pretty much the whole map. The different locations, what they mean, their abbreviations, color, all that. So the steel mill is where you start off at in the very beginning, regardless if you do the tutorial or not. Actually, I'm sorry, I lied. You start right here in a little little shed area if you do the tutorial, but you end up at the steel mill to do your first mission. So this map here tells you what goes where. So flammables from the food factory, they go to the harbor, or they can go up and over to GF. Where's, oh, goods factory in town. So there's different licenses we can do, and as of right now we have the basic engineer license, which gives us the DE2, if I remember correctly. Where am I at? Oh yeah, here I am. Okay. So yes, a DE2. Now, I can't just couple several vehicles together, several trains yet. I can couple them together, but I'm not able to use them both. Or maybe I'm mistaken and I can't even couple them together. Not sure. But either way, each vehicle has its own number. L080 if I hop out of here. L099. Which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and turn on our breakers. Electronics, starter, traction motor, dash lights, and cab light. Which immediately turns on the light, so there's no switch other than the breaker. Hit the starter. Okay. So the reason I'm letting it warm up is mostly to build air in the tanks for braking. Let's go to the turntable here. And wrong way. And really, I hate to say it, but I haven't found the best way yet to do this other than just to kind of guess, go over and look. And when you hear a click like that, it means it's in position. And I've played this game several times before, so yeah. So I'm fairly good at getting it pretty close. So let's go ahead and release the brake, the park brake. Open our valve, even though we don't have any cars connected. Put our gear selector towards forward, make sure both brakes are off, independent and full service, right? Train brake and independent brake, I'm sorry. And we'll go ahead 1 gear speed. Go ahead and throw that off. And move the independent brake forward. Now, what we're going to want to do is find, and we're not going to accept the mission yet, but we're going to find what we want. And there's certain limitations to each vehicle, which you can find by cap lock. Okay, cap lock does your full inventory. So we'll open this up and see, yeah, it's the DE2 480, and it'll say, you know, what the max capacity and all that is, which I'm sorry, it does not show the max capacity, but I know it's around 220 to 240. So we'll just throw this back in our inventory for now, because we're going to want these spots. Not all of them, but, you know. So now down on the bottom beside license requirement, it says DVHR. We automatically have that. Now long 1 is having a long train. That's a license, and you're going to have to buy those as you go through the game. And we start with pretty much none. So any long ones, we can guarantee we're not going to get. Now we got 1 from the steel mill to the harbor. So I know that I need to be facing this way from playing. And you can use your compass to find direction if you need to. So the rear end needs to be right here. That way I can back up and then get on the main junction, which is something, if you haven't played before, you're gonna have a hard time figuring out at first, but eventually you will get it. Oh, so close. There we go. Okay, throw this in reverse. Let off on the brake. Oh. And we will go back. Now there is some things I do recommend buying first off, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But I can't remember if it's called dispatcher or what it's called. I think that it is. And basically what that allows you to do is to look at your map, and not this map, I'm sorry, I lied. Your station map, and change the direction, change the track layout even before you get to it. So that's one thing I'm going to recommend you buy right out. The first thing you buy, because it makes your life so much easier. Otherwise you got to use the switch, which this does other things as well. We'll apply the brake there. I went a little bit farther back talking about the switch, not paying attention. So you want to be easy on your brakes too, because you have to pay for repairs and all that. But given our certain circumstances right now, I think it'll be okay this one time. Oh, and there was some wheel spin. I was moving back and the wheels tried to go forward, and it's metal to metal, so it did have a little wheel spin there. And if you ever have something you just can't seem to get a grip, turn your sander on. Okay. So I'm gonna put this in the first gear. Mostly because I don't know what track anything's on. And in the very beginning, everything should take you down the middle. The middle track is not gonna have any cars on it. Now, if you was to change this to come in here, get something and leave, it's not gonna be aimed towards the center track anymore. So that's why I recommend that's why I recommend getting dispatcher. Oh, sorry, it's been a minute. All right. So sometimes there will be train cars split into two sections, and it looked the same train, but it's actually not. But I believe it's going to be these three right here. And like I said, I do allow myself a little bit more time, but it's mostly so we can take our time and enjoy the game. So we'll get slowed down here. Not going to put a whole lot of brake on yet. I need to get past that bar switch right there. Have to let off the brake. Okay. There was some brake on there. We'll swap it. And the white arrow indicates left or right. So the track's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to go to the left side or the right side. Now it may go to the left and it be straight. That is still considered to the right, even if it's straight, or to the left, and depends on the case. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and grab the dispatcher license. We'll go down. We have $2,000. I don't remember how much it is. So we have train driver DE2, which is the locomotive type. Have to pay for each train type you want to use. Freight hauling, which we own. Shunting is $1,000, and dispatcher is $10,000. Yes, we cannot afford that, but after this trip, we should be able to get it. Yeah, this is $10,000. $10,000 straight out. So, and we get a time bonus if we get it there before the required time, which is 72 minutes. So the train mass is 171 tons, and I believe the DE2 can do 220 to 240. Could be wrong, but I believe it's in that area. So we're going to open it up. It's going to be the overall page. The next page is going to be, step 1, step 2, step 3, and so on. Now, shunting has a lot of steps, so for the most part, general hauling and general freight right now. We'll just have these basic steps. Okay, so step 1, pick up the following cars at the station track. SMB60. So B60, I was correct. And as I say, there are in fact car numbers. So if we go to the orders, just to make sure we have the right one, CFF622, does not matter the order that it's in. The next one will be CF100, excuse me, CFF100 and 145. Now I have had, it's told me to pick it up on the track. It'd be 3 cars. I think it was 3 tankers, and they are color coded too. So if like it was a blue tanker, red and blue in the middle, it'll show on the paper. Well, there was 2 of them. There was blue, red, blue here and a blue, red, blue there, and I was on that end, so I just hooked to it, took off, and didn't realize that was the load I was supposed to take, and I got paid nothing. And I had to pay for the wear and tear on the train. Overall, not a great day. I mean, it wasn't from this station, but you understand what I'm saying, I hope. So there are different versions of trains. You have diesel, there's only one electric, and it's a small shunter, even smaller than this. I believe it's only remote controllable. I could be 100% wrong, but I believe that I am correct. So you don't just want to plow into these cars, so we're going to apply a little brake. And that's a little too much brake, but just gonna back up here, somewhat slow paced. Maybe add a little throttle. It's okay to have both on. It's not gonna hurt it. But now we're going too fast. There you go. So we're gonna back up just a hair. I did hit it, like I say, a little bit more than I wanted to. We're barely moving. So I'm gonna go out here, crawl up under, gonna connect the train up, tighten the connection, grab the air hose, connect the air hoses. This blue one here is if you have 2 diesel engines, and that is another license you have to unlock before you can have 2 engines. You connect those 2 together, just like these red ones. Except with the red ones, we have to turn these valves on to allow the air to pass through. And now on every train, there's going to be a wheel here. Just like inside the train, these cars are also going to have them. If the little red, that is on the right, turn it to the left and it'll be unlocked. It should just be one car per section, but I could be wrong. So now when we use the brakes, we use the train brake. So let's get started. And you don't want your ammeter to go too high. If it does, it will okay, I thought they were separating for a minute. It will throw the breaker, and you will have to turn it back on and restart. And if you're up a hill and you're struggling to get up, throw some sand down, maybe go to a lower gear, because if it goes too high, it kicks the breaker and you come to a stop, you're pretty well stuck. You have to get another train to push up the hill, or there's different ways of doing things, so you just want to make it as easy as possible on you. So we'll go ahead and put it in another gear here. And make sure that we're on switch, because we will have to switch it manually for the time being. But as I said, that will be the first thing that I'm going to buy. Just making sure. And if you see a little red button flashing right here above the brake pipe, that means this valve right here is cut off and air can't get to or from the train. So we got these. Let's close that, make it a little less noisy in here. We got our cars, we're on our way. We need to go to the left. So the yellow triangles are going to be engines, locomotives. The blue triangle right here is you. So we need to go down, take a left-hand turn, and immediately another left-hand turn. Go across, stay to the right, or straight, but it'll be to the right in this case. And we'll come all the way down, take a left, and we'll be at the harbor. Now, I just want to show you, it said sawmill, and as of right now we're in a coal mine. Sawmill will be this one. And I just now learned that I can click on it when I seen those get highlighted. Here I had been flipping through the whole book. Well, you learn something new every day. So page A, sawmill A. Excuse me, wrong way. If I go to B, it'll show me B section. A is your overall. So we'll come in from this way, go through, and or from this way. You have to know which way you're coming because it is north facing. Up here is north. We left this direction. So these yellow spots are where trains will spawn, or excuse me, engines will spawn. We got on the turntable here. We came out. You could have went this way, went to the shed to repair, refuel, go out. And we backed up, came up here, switched to B. We came through this intersection. We came up, went on to 6, connected, and we are now leaving. I'm sorry, we're losing power. I wasn't paying attention. And I will say the speed limit changes dramatically throughout, but on these smooth, straighter sections right through here, usually from Bullwell North all the way down to about Forest South, and then you could say from Manufacturing West down, I mean really any section you're gonna have a lot higher speeds. But through curvy areas like this, it's gonna change dramatically and a lot. Let's get some speed going here. And like I say, the DE2, it sucks. I'm gonna be honest, it does. Don't have a lot of power, can't really do a whole lot with it. But something you can do is, which is a bit of a powerful take, and by the way, speed limit is 80, and this right here, plus 1.3, means the hill is gonna go up 1.3 degrees. So as long as we can keep our ammeter from going to the red, you really want to keep it out of the yellow as much as possible, but we need to get some speed up here. Kind of killed a little time back there, but like I say, I have plenty, so it's not really a big deal. Slowly dropping. Temperature's good. We'll make it, no big deal. And as you can see, it's 6 going that way, and it is negative 1.8, I believe it said, which means there's a negative downgrade. So be careful turning up your throttle going downhill. Alright. As you can see, we have our oil level, which it uses oil as it goes through. Fuel. You usually use 2 parts fuel for 1 part oil going through, although it can change. I don't remember what it is on any of the other ones, but this one's about 2 in 1. Sand, it just depends on how much you use. So this is your main air supply, and this is what's in your brake pipe. Your kilometers an hour, how fast you're going, and right here. Okay, so so in 0.2 kilometers, there will be a split section. The speed limit is 6 going to it, and we're at just below 30. You got your wipers, your lights front, your lights rear, and this is the front. just in case anybody was wondering. Now it shows we're going to the right, but we need to make a left, and then immediately after we'll have another left. And sometimes you really get like right up on these before you can see them because they're in a curve or there's something blocking them, so you really got to pay attention. So if we go that way, the speed's 120 kilometers an hour. Right here it's 5. And we're just going to keep this out just to double check. Just to double check that, yep, okay, so it is going to the left. So if you can't see anything on the sign, then it's for the opposite facing direction. But again, white stripe to the left at the top, so we're going this way, which is the correct way, the way we need to go. Speed limit will be 5, and we're going to have a negative downgrade of 5%, or excuse me, 0.5%. We're going to let off on the throttle quite a bit. And yes, technically we could still be going and brake hard, but that's going to cost more to repair. Is it a major deal? No. So if you're not sure, you can look at your world map real quick. Oh, and we just barely made that one. So that is something that will trick you, and I forgot to mention about. You see, you have this one, and it looks like all this is the same, but it's not. That this, the intersection that we're at and what's behind the train is the same intersection, but it is not. That's happened to me several times. I don't know if it happens to anybody else, but it does to me. And if you look up here to Food Factory, the blue, the FF right there, notice that there's no yellow like there is right there. That's because we haven't been there in a while. Trains aren't spawned in yet. So there's a couple things going on there. Now, I am going to go ahead and speed up just a hair. And we have a 10. Alright. So we can do some pretty good speed through here, and if you look at the map, you can kind of get a pretty good indication that it's not really gonna drop for a minute or two. Then when we get around that big curve, it will. So let's go ahead, crank it up some. You don't have to do a lot. You don't have to even go the speed limit if you don't want to. Costs more fuel, but it saves you more time. And vice versa. Now, if you look around the map, I mean, it is really detailed, and I mean, it's just beautiful. And then we have 120, and you see a down arrow there, or an up arrow, and I believe the up arrows are green. That will show that the speed limit's going to increase or drop. Yeah, so it went down to 10. Now it's going to go down again. It's kind of just a warning indicator. What is that up there? 6 maybe? Anyway. But there are times where, let's say I'm at City South, right? And I want to go up to Good Factory, and I'll just hit F, look up and hit F, and teleport all the way to I get there. I've done that looking for something very specific before, or because I just wanted to explore, especially in the very beginning. I will give you a hint: if you're going up a mountain, look up like this and hit F, because if you look like this and you're going up a mountain, you're only going to move about a foot, as to where you can move like 20 to 30 feet like this. And do pay attention, because signs will come and signs will pass by before you know it, and then it'll say speed limit drops, you know, to 3, and you're going 50. Well, you're going to derail, which is very easy to do in this game if you're not paying attention. But like I say, you can make this a lot easier on yourself. You could make it a lot harder on yourself. I'm staying around, I'm staying right at 50 kilometers an hour. I don't need to speed up a whole lot. Now, when we come around, if I was going to go on around here, I'd go ahead and stay straighter. If we had a long trip and we was trying to make it in short time. But that's not the issue. We're going down, and there's a big downhill grade here down this squiggly road, so it does get kind of got to pay attention a lot there. So let's go on, and notice we're picking up speed just a little bit, not much. Sometimes it'll look like you're absolutely flying, but you look down and you're like, well, I'm within the speed limit, you know. So I am going to drop it down just a hair for the meantime. Not going to be a super big deal. The sun's starting to go down, and usually I like to sleep at night. I don't like driving in the game at night, but I will if I need to. So the speed limit's 6, so we'll go ahead and throw that back up 1 or 2. In point 3, there's going to be a switch. We need to make sure that we are going to the right. Oh, but back to what I was saying. I'm sorry. I'd mentioned earlier there's different ways you can do things. You can just immediately... That switched. Come on. There we go. I found the best way to do it is to hold it out, and then as you're turning into the sign, click it. It makes it a lot easier. So negative 1.1, speed limit is 70, but I will drop the speed because we're going to pick up speed as we go down. Nope, speed limit 6. So, what we can do to kind of prevent from going too fast is just apply a little brake. Don't have to be in a lot. You don't have to slow down on major time. May take a second for it to start working. But genuinely, you'll kind of stay in the same area. It really just depends. Now, the speed limit's 4, and we're going almost 60, so we're going to apply quite a bit of brake here. Alright. And I'm not going to say that going 10 over is not going to hurt you, but I have been going around 10 kilometers an hour over the speed limit. Not had a big deal with it. Not had a big issue. I have yet to figure out what the equal sign means. I think that means the speed stays the same. I just have to look and see. Anyway, I digress yet again. Nope, so it does not stay the same. It goes to 6. Maybe it just means the train levels out. So I have seen people go straight from this to a larger train to another larger train, excuse me, I mean locomotive. Or I have seen people, you know, get the dispatcher, then get multiple units, which is 2 locomotives, and hook them together, and then you have what, 240, or let's see, 240 times 2, so 480 max. I mean, is it necessarily worth it? It really depends on how you want to play. I wouldn't mind doing 2 locomotives, which I think is what I'm going to do, because you can get a lot more money for your loads. You can do a lot of different things. So yeah, let's go ahead and flip our lights on here. You know, I really don't... Okay, so that's that. If I flip it this way... Okay, if I flip it this way, it's running lights. If I flip it this way, it is full headlight. So, 6 and the speed limit drops. We're going 40. I'm gaining a little bit of speed, throw a little bit of brake on. Just enough to kind of hold us in place. Might slow us down a little bit. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. If it is, we can back it off. So, speed limit increases. So I'm gonna let that off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and look at our orders here. So B60 station or sawmill. Step 2, haul the train to the following location, harbor and town. Deliver the following cars at station track, harbor, excuse me, harbor C2I. So let's go ahead and take a look at harbor. That just blows my mind. I just now learned I could do that. And I'm gonna kind of keep it like this just because I want to be able to see the speed limit signs. So we'll be coming in from the west, so we'll need to go left here. We'll need to go straight or left here, and then take a right. Now, when we pull in, and what was it, C2I, if I remember correctly? I do, which is rare. We'll need to go to the C section, and C2I, which is the center. Now, if something happens, you get blocked in, just pull the locomotive up, you know, after you disconnect your cars and all that, and let me slow down. So we're gonna go to the harbor, and yeah, bells are the sound that are gonna let you know that, hey, you're about to derail. Okay. But anyway, you don't have to drive the same exact locomotive unit. I can go from this one to a different one, but at the end of every journey, you're gonna have to pay fees. And until you do manual service, which is manually refilling the fuel, the oil, you know, manually repairing, which all you do is go up to a machine, pull the lever when the train's beside the machine, it repairs it, not a big deal, not super complicated for everybody else except for me, because I could not figure it out for a while, because I'm a bit of what they call a little bit of a moron. Yeah, I got that. So let's go ahead, let off the brake a little bit, keep just a hair held on, and what we're gonna, what's that? Oh, it's just a plan. All right, so go ahead, let off the brake, because as soon as we get around this corner, we'll be there. Again, I know where I'm at, where I've played it for a while. So we just got to go left, which is technically straight, but still considered left. So 2 lefts and a right. So, all right, it's pointed the right direction, which is awesome. Speed limit is 4 to the right, which we're going a little fast, but it'll be fine. And again, it's pointed to the left, we're fine. Now, gotta make sure we're pointed to the left here, so I need to switch to the right, and we are. I'm gonna put on I'm gonna put on a fair amount of brake, because it is kind of a sharper turn right here. Okay. We'll let off all the brakes, and we'll just put on a little throttle, not much. And again, we're centered down the normal lane, and there's not going to be cars spawn there. We might drop cars off, but that'll probably be it. I haven't ran into a time where I've been going down the center section and there'd be cars there. So now, what's considered in the section when the train is in between this sign and the sign that's way up there? So for these littler size loads, it's literally nothing at all to get them in. So we'll go ahead and apply the brake. Open up the door here. And we can hop off, it's not going to hurt anything. We're going to throw the brake on, the park brake. Only one of them has to be turned on. Disconnect the airline hoses after turning off the valves. Loosen up the links and drop the link off. So you can leave this running. I don't believe you even have to pull away. And excuse me. If you need to know because you're not sure where it's at, the little orange circle right here is the it's where you go get your loads, it's where you drop them off, it's where you save, it's where you sleep at night. And then this is a store. So I know that we're right here, and I know that it's right there. Oh, fell into the water. Not a big deal. Okay. So we'll pull out our book here, put it in the bottom, and there we go. Check mark on everything. Job done, completed. Now it says $10,026. That beeping is so annoying. But if we look at the money, it says $15,039. It's because we got a speed bonus. So just hit tab, the money disappears straight into your wallet. So we got $17,039. So let's go to licenses. Actually, let's go to fees first. And we do have insurance, so all we need to pay is $100 to clear the fees, and that does go up with time. Sorry, click on that right there to put the wallet in, put the money in, confirm. Awesome. So we'll go to licenses and go down to dispatcher, click on it, add the money into that little slot, click. Now we have another certificate. And with this certificate, I can leave it wherever. And if I go to a new station and I've lost something, there should be a tool shed. This is where you'll find your lost and found stuff. Stuff you've left somewhere. Maybe you left a flashlight on a train and it despawned. It should show up here. So that's about it. That's the basics of it. You know, pretty much the first mission. And I mean, they're all randomized, but that basically, you get a feel for how the game's going to work. Now, I'll tell you, going downhill, and this is pretty much all downhill except for this little section right through there, is super easy. It's when you start at Harbor and you go up all the way up these mountains that it can get a little tricky sometimes, especially if it's raining. So, yeah. Now, one thing I'm going to mention is let me see if I can find what I'm looking for. So, hello. So there's another one, you know, L071. You know, it's another train. Now that I've cleared the fees, which includes what it costs to repair the train for driving it down here, replaces fuel, oil, any sand I've used, anything like that, I can hop in that one and go. Let me find the round table. Or where is it? Excuse me, the roundhouse. Okay, it's right here. Okay, perfect. So you have the DE6, which is a diesel electric type train. This is what's normally found in America, Australia, I'm sure other places. Then you have a good old-fashioned steam train. And again, each one of these requires its own license. These two are the same, so you can operate both of them on the same license. And this is the DH4. I think this is a more European version, but I could be wrong. Now I can't get inside of them or anything like that. It won't let me because I don't have the license. I can't even get inside. But just to give you a quick look at everything, I love this train. This is probably my favorite. This is the one I always go to. Although sometimes I do like operating a D6. So anyway, like I say, I don't like operating trains at night, but I can just go on and do another mission. But I'm not going to. I'm going to more or less sleep, and each place you go to is the bed's gonna be in a different spot. Oh, right here. And it's actually not a bed, it's a couch. And there is one place, which is this little house emblem right here. And I can fast travel there, but I'm not going to as of right now. And there, I've never really messed with it, but if you go in, you know, it's kind of like a little house. I think there might be a little garage there. I'm not sure what and all's there. Truthfully, I can't remember, but there is a lot more to this game than people realize. A lot more with the physics and all that. But overall, it's a great game, and I highly recommend it. So if you wouldn't mind to leave us a like and a subscribe, I sure would. Thank you. It's 3 seconds of work for you, but it's a lifetime of gratefulness for me. Thank you and have a great day.